Anyway, so I asked the guy, I said, how fast can you get us to JFK? He goes, well, it depends on traffic. And you know how people just talk so damn slowly when you're in a hurry? And I said, I don't care about traffic. How fast can you get us there? He goes, well, what time's your flight? And so I had to lie. I'm like, my flight is at 11 o'clock. Okay? At this time, it's 10:15 or so. I said, my flight is at 11 o'clock. How fast can you get me there? He goes, okay, well, you get in. At this time, of course, all the other cabs had passed by, because people are going to sit in them. And then the traffic light was red, so there's no other cab coming. So I couldn't skip him. So we had to sit in there. So we sat in there. I'm getting a headache talking about this. So we sat in there. And then we're going. And, of course, he's taking his time getting to the light and stopping. I said, you know what? I will tip you very heavily if you can get us there in 20 minutes. Because I'd been told it was 30, 45 minutes, the normal time. I said, if you can get us there in 20 minutes. Can I just tell you that, when you watch movies and the New York cab drivers drive like they lost your marbles? That's how this guy drove. I was like, whoa, now I'm wondering if we're going to get there alive. Okay, so while we're in the cab, first of all, I did my Google Maps to see if he was taking the correct shortcuts, to get us there, because I wasn't about to play. So I looked at it, and he was taking the correct shortcuts, and it had given an estimated time of arrival due to the way he was driving, and dude was driving crazy. I loved it. And so in the meantime, I said, okay, let me see if I can check into this flight. So I Googled the name of the flight, the 11:25 flight at JFK, which is TAP Portugal. I had never heard of it. TAP space Portugal. So I Googled it. I couldn't find it. Google couldn't find it. I was like, wait. This is a flight. Google could not find it. So I went back to cheapoair.com, and it had a check-in. So I clicked on check-in and it had a list of flights that you could check in directly from the phone. So I'm looking at, to see if I could see TAP Portugal. Of course it's not there. It's only the popular flights that are there. I'm like, the frick. So I couldn't check in. So there's a link that said you can confirm your flight. So I clicked on it and said, okay, you have been reconfirmed for your flight. I'm like, piece of crap. I want to check in. Anyway, so we're going, eventually get there. They sent me an email, like almost as soon as we got into the cab, saying that the flight was at Terminal 1. Now, this is the Cheapo Air people, because before, when they sent me my itinerary, there was no terminal, which was, it had been the day before or whatnot. So now that it was close to the time, they sent me the terminal number, which is Terminal 1. So we told the cab driver we're going to Terminal 1. So he got us there in 20 or 25 minutes, guys. It was 10:35 or so we got there. I'm like, this is amazing. So we got there. I tipped him, I gave him basically double the amount of what it cost for him to get us there. And he was just amazed. And then I graciously thanked him. I told him God bless him and his family and his everybody. Anyway, so we go to an informational counter, and it wasn't actually informational. It was like a security check line. And then we're looking for TAP Portugal, and the guy's like, I've never heard of that airline. Have you? Talking to his partner. I'm like, can you guys just hurry up? And she goes, TAP Portugal. No, it's not at this terminal. Let me see. And she's looking around. And I was like, our flight is at 11:25. She goes, okay. You know what? Try Terminal 4. Go to Terminal 4. It's not here. It has to be a Terminal 4. I said, okay, thank you. Where's Terminal 4? Oh, you have to take the train there. Oh, God. So I asked her, where do you catch a train? And she showed us. So we ran to this place, right? As soon as we got there, there's already a train there. And I'm like, okay, we need to make sure that, is this a train we got to take or not? So I pushed a button. There's a help button on the wall. And a lady speaks up, and I said, I'm looking for TAP Portugal Airlines. Which terminal is it? She goes, oh, it's Terminal 7. I said, okay. And she goes, well, while you're facing the platform, it's going to be the train that comes to your right. That train hadn't come yet. So the train on the left is the one that was there. So we're like, okay, great, we have time. So within 2 minutes or so, that train came, and we hopped on it. Okay, Terminal 7. So we looked at where we were. We were at Terminal 1. It was going the roundabout way. So we were actually going to get to Terminal 7 sooner than if we had taken the other train, because they all stop at all the terminals, right? So we're on the train. I'm like, okay, this one said Terminal 4, this one said Terminal 7. We need to verify. So there's a lady who's sitting down there and she goes, what airline? And I said, TAP Portugal. And she goes, I think it's Terminal 5. So she goes, I'm going to check my app real quick. And it looked like she worked there, like she had just gotten off. So she checked her app and it goes, yeah, it's Terminal 5. And at the same time, we saw that the airlines were written on the top of the train, you know, on the wall. And we looked for TAP Portugal and there it was, Terminal 5. So fortunately, Terminal 5 came, I think it came just before Terminal 7 or just after, something like that. I think maybe just before, I forget. But anyway, it was like the second or third stop. So we got off. And I'm thinking we get off and maybe go down the stairs or whatnot, and it's gonna the check-in counter is gonna be right there, y'all. We got off, went up the escalator. There was, you know, those walkways that moving walkway. I'm running on it, and I get to the end of the moving walkway, and then there's a bend. There's another moving walkway. Nothing in sight. One moving walkway after another, after another, after another. I can bet you I probably ran a mile that day. My heart felt like it was about to explode, and I'm not fit. I was so tired. So eventually we got there at about, 10 minutes to 11. I saw, you know, where they had all the different check-ins. So we went and asked somebody, and the person's like, oh, yeah, it's all the way at the end. Just keep going, keep going. It's like, I feel like, oh my gosh. And all this time, the funny thing is, I didn't find it funny at that time, but my husband was walking behind me. I was running and he was walking. And every time I turned, he was right there. Like, how are you walking and I'm running and you're still there? You know, my height situation. Anyway, so I was running again, and eventually I saw it straight, and it was at the end. When I say at the end, I mean the back wall all the way at the end. We get there, there's nobody. And this is about, I don't know, it wasn't, 10 minutes to left. There's nobody there. So I see a cleaning crew cleaning, and I asked them, I said, where are these people? TAP Portugal, you know. And he goes, I don't know, I'm just cleaning. I just clean here. I said, were they here when you came? No. When they leave, then we clean. Okay. Is anybody coming back? Well, I don't know, I just clean. Can you tell me something? So I told my husband, go ask, see anybody in uniform, just find out, you know, what you can find out. And I got behind the check-in counter. There's a few counters. I got in behind, and there were phones there, and I was just hitting redial on every phone to see where it would take me. I was trying to get to anybody. Not everything went to voicemail. This phone went to voicemail, and it went to somebody's name, you know, voicemail. I'm like, okay. So right at the corner of my eye, I see the check-in computer. You know, the ones that, you know, you help yourself. So I went in there, I put in my passport, and it goes, check-in closed. And this is a TAP Portugal, it was written TAP Portugal on it. It said check-in closed. I'm like, wait, the flight is at 11:25. Right now it's 5 minutes to 11. How are you closing that early? So we kept looking, you know, my husband's talking to people, I'm talking to people. There's another guy there who was also, I guess, late. And he was like, yeah, I'm trying to get in the flight too. And so I saw another guy in uniform. I said, we got here at least 15 minutes ago. And there's nobody here. He goes, yeah, today they checked out early. They left that station early. Like, today of all damn days. So anyway, so that was that. So I saw an exit going outside, and I felt like maybe that's where they boarded the bus to go to the plane, because I could see the tail of the plane in the distance on the runway. Not on the runway, but on the top. So I said, you know what, if I could get somebody to take me there. So there was a cop car parked right out there. So I said, let me go talk to the cop. So I went outside, and I got, you know, knocked on the window. Yeah, I was very bold in New York. Okay. Knocked on the window, and I said, can you help me? We're trying to get to that flight right there. They closed the check-in early, and I need to get there. Do you know how I can get there? Can you call somebody? Can you know? And he goes, let me see. He gets out of the car, puts his hands on his waist, and starts to look around. And he goes, you know, I'm kind of new here, and honestly, let me see. Did you try the check-in counter? said, yes, sir, I did. There's nobody there. Did you talk to anybody? What the? So I said, no, I talked to everybody. Nobody knows how to get me in touch with the flight crew or anybody, or even an informational center that would, connect me and let them know that we're here. We need to board the flight. And he goes, I don't know how I can help you. I don't know. I'm sorry, ma'am. I can't. At this point, of course, I've been in tears on and off. And so I went back in, and somebody had told my husband to go to the JetBlue counter because they're connected. And I did see TAP Airlines and JetBlue at the bottom of it. So he was there in the line, and I went up to him. I said, any luck? And he goes, nope. So now it's about 10 past 11. And I knew for sure at this point we're definitely not getting on. I talked everybody who passed me by in a uniform. I asked them, do you know how I can get to TAP Portugal, the airline? Just information, anybody. And New Yorkers, I'm sorry, nobody wanted to help. Nobody wanted to take the extra time to even talk to you or even ask you the details of what you need enough to even know if they could help you. I was just amazed at that lack of customer service mentality at the airport. And they all would look at me with an attitude, and I'm thinking to myself, yeah, I'm flustered and I'm frustrated, but I'm not coming at you. I just want to know if you can help me. I was so exasperated and tired and disappointed. Anyway, so at this point, I have talked to everybody in uniform. I even went to the security checkpoint and I said, can I get in just to get to the other side to talk to somebody there? I'm sure, we'll see somebody from TAP Portugal there. He's like, no, you don't have a check-in, a boarding pass. You can't get through here. And I said, I know, but I have it right here. I am confirmed for this flight. The people at the check-in counter closed early. The machine that I can use for check-in says the check-in is closed and I need to talk to somebody. He goes, I'm sorry, the only way you get through here is with a boarding pass. And I just looked at him, and he just turned and went to the next person. So at this point, it's, like 11:18 or so, and I looked at my husband and I said, I'm so sorry. I am so sorry. So we went and found somewhere to sit on the floor because there's nowhere to sit, like no seat anywhere, as in they don't exist. It's not that people are sitting on them, because at this point, you see the time of the night, it's, and so we found somewhere on the floor. I said, I'll just sit on the floor. We sat on the floor, and I took his phone and I took mine. On his phone, I was looking for somewhere to stay for the night. And on the other phone, I was calling Cheapo Air to see if they could find another flight for us that night to go to France.